Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores, or I go to estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I'm always looking for things that I personally like or that I think you guys would find interesting. And then I bring them home, try and find out as much as I can about them, and then let you guys know about them. So here's what I've got today. I hope this shows up in the camera now. This is a milk glass jar, apothecary jar, I think even you want to call it, lidded jar basically. It's made out of very nice kind of always, I want to say it's not true like milk glass. It's kind of got an opaque kind of translucent kind of a look to it. Like it's definitely not as white as, say for example, like the 1970s milk glass, the kind of stuff that I would see in the thrift store all the time. When I got this, it was incredibly dusty. I think I bought it for $5 in a thrift store. And basically I got it because I thought it was incredibly beautiful. Underneath that, basically all the dust, and there was a lot of it. Just the amount of cleaning this took was just ridiculous. It was practically brown, and it took quite a bit of scrubbing to get it all out of all the designs. Now on the inside, if I can find it here somewhere, you can just about see it. There is a very tiny little mark there, that up and down kind of zigzag, and on the other side, which you can't quite see, there is a number 7. Bit of a mystery, gotta tell you. But apart from that, is the actual thing itself. What we have is, apart from this really lovely design, this is obviously pressed glass and quite high quality stuff as well. And again, you can see that kind of just slight translucent kind of a look to it. A little bit more obvious in the rim. Like it's not quite the bright kind of milk glass that we would see. But anyway, what we have are these nice little transfer patterns of basically people in different period clothing, most of which I'm afraid I can't really identify. I think that's, you know, Henry VIII, I think. So what is that, 16th, 17th century? And it kind of just goes up, you know, from there until you get up to like the late 19th. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not up on, you know, like, I'm not up on like, you know, vintage or antique fashion, I'm afraid. But other than that, like these lovely patterns of flowers here in the base, and then you can just about see that zigzag pattern again, and then there is a 2, just for extra confusion. Now, this one I have to say completely threw me for a while. I had a hell of a time trying to figure out what it was. Still a little bit kind of not entirely there with it. But anyway, measure it up real fast. It is about 4 inches across, and I'm just going to measure it to the height of the lid. And it is about 6 inches high. So, okay, so basically what exactly have we got here? And the question is, I'm not entirely sure. I tried quite a bit of Google foo and completely failed. I ended up going to the Glass Collecting subreddit, where I usually go if I really get completely stumped, and asked basically, does anyone know what this is? Does anyone have anything I could refer to? And nicely enough, someone did actually come up with a reference. Basically, this is probably made in Belgium. And it's because of this. Other glasses like this, blue and white Asian motif. If I just, come on, Google, work with me. Oh God, technical difficulty. Okay, there we go. Yes, okay. So, vintage, made in Belgium, milk glass dish with blue and white Asian motif is basically this, except they decided to put a different design on it. So, if we take a look here, you can see this actually has a stamp on it, and unfortunately we don't have anything clearer than that. But you can see here it says vintage condition, stamp 4, and made in Belgium. Now that is interesting. That at least gives us kind of something to work with. It was actually made in Belgium. Yeah, yes, it could sell out soon. And you can see, oh my God, it's like $73. Wow, that's, wow, Claire, were we actually in the, no, we're not. I'll talk about it in a second. So I can't actually find one that matches this design exactly. And to be honest, I'm just looking at different kind of examples of basically stuff similar to this. Like this one here, also like made in Belgium, made in milk glass kind of thing here as well, apothecary jars. And a lot of people are kind of saying that this kind of stuff was made in the 1960s, 1970s. I don't have a reference for it. This essentially is an unknown. All we have is the general consensus of the hive mind, which, as we all know, doesn't, you know, it may not be accurate. It's just kind of everybody's kind of best guess. The other thing about this is that the prices of this are kind of basically all over the place. Like there's one that I showed there that would have been $50. This one, $48, possibly US, but who knows. This one, yeah, there you go, $20 on eBay. Yeah, I've looked around, and this is another case of I can't really find sales records for these. Not for any significant money in any case. For what I spent on it, the $5 or $6 if I remember right, it's not going to be worth much more than that just because there's no market for it. Nobody really knows what it is. It's kind of nice, but that's about it. There is no provenance here. There's nothing other than, oh, it's made in Belgium. The thing that it kind of suggests to me, which I have to say is again just my best guess, it's not really anything, you know, serious, is like if you see something that actually, you know, if you see something on based on this which says like it's got a number on it or it says made in Belgium or whatever like that, I get the feeling that it might be either something that had a sticker on it at one stage which is now lost, but if it says made in Belgium, that would mean that it was imported for, you know, probably imported into North America, because obviously stuff then, you know, if stuff actually gets imported, it has to have made in the country of origin in English actually on it, according to the name of the act that I can never remember. Is it the Taft? Yeah. Basically the law that says if you're importing stuff into North America for sale, or into the US anywhere for sale, that you must have the country of origin on it somewhere in English. And it has to say like, you know, made in wherever. But I've been wondering, is this like Avon? Essentially that like this would have been full of, say, a cream or something like that, and it was sold like as a nice decorative piece with the actual coat, like with your face cream or something in it. You know, kind of that would be kind of interesting. It could very easily just be a decorative thing. It's just that, yeah, I don't know. That's a guess. Very much a guess. Again, no other information about it. We're all just kind of guessing at this point. I've been trying to consider different possibilities as what it could actually be. Yeah. So, having said all that, what is it actually worth and what am I going to be doing with it? And now here is the kicker. I'm going to try and show this to you. And it's probably going to be quite tricky to see. It's underneath one of the figures. You see that? Nope. I gotta check this again myself. It's not that, it's gonna be on the other side. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of hard to see. You're gonna just have to trust me that it is actually there. But just underneath her hat, right there, I can even feel it with my nail. There is a crack. The seam there from where the pressed glass is where it runs, but it runs basically down beside it. And there is a slight manufacturing defect there as well. Essentially, there's a crack that runs like right down here, and it is almost impossible to see. And it's not something I would have picked up in the store, because although I can, you know, I can do my usual thing, I run my hands over it to make sure it doesn't have any chips, you know, on the rim at least. And I do check it to, you know, to make sure that it doesn't have any like any kind of, you know, obvious cracks, or at least stuff like that is just, it's hard to see. And, you know, I've been caught by that a few times. It's just something that happens, and I'm like, you know, I don't ever spend a whole lot on, you know, glassware, so I'm not going to be out any kind of money, but something to note at least. So what's probably going to be happening is that I will be donating this back to the thrift store. I hope someone's going to like it, and probably someone will buy it, you know, for decorative purposes, because it's still quite usable. It's just that I can't really sell something that's cracked, and I would not feel comfortable selling, like basically having to say, look, here's the crack, this is what it looks like, and then trying to take a picture of it. It is a headache, and not for something where I'm probably not going to really make much kind of money. It's interesting, and I'm definitely going to be looking out for this again, but I don't think I'll buy it again for $6. I think maybe if it's like $2, I might buy them and maybe take a chance on selling one then. But again, I can't really find much by the way of sales records, so who really knows? This could just be a case of this is not something that's worth picking up. So if you do see it, do bear this in mind. Just because there are quite a lot listed around kind of suggests that they do actually show up, you know, really semi-regularly. Again, I learned something, and it's still kind of cute, and I do love the actual design, like on the top and around the edges here and on the base. Honestly, I think it would be vastly improved if they hadn't bothered with adding this stuff. I think it's lovely the way it is. Are you gonna stay? No. Okay, let's try this. No. Oh my god. Stay. Stay. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so this is my small joyful thing for the day. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.